My introduction to the hero's journey was about 3 years ago. I heard a guy talk about the hero's journey, and he talked about it influencing his work. And the language he was using I found very evocative. He was talking about things like the call to adventure, and refusing the call, and crossing the threshold. And as I listened to him, I was thinking of a major job decision I'd made a couple of years beforehand, and I started thinking, I can recognise those stages. I got a call to adventure, and then I rationalised it away and I refused the call, but then the call got too loud and I actually crossed the threshold. So I thought I have to go off and learn more about this. So I went and I found that Joseph Campbell had written extensively about it, and his seminal book is called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. So I started reading through that, and I found that there were 17 stages. And some of it, now this would be linked to mythological quest stories and even religions. It would feature in religions, fairy tales from around the world. So this was very rich stuff. But my challenge with it was 17 stages, that's hard to relate to. So I started asking myself then, if I think of my life and decisions and challenges that I have faced, how might the hero's journey distill down into a simpler, more accessible format? So what I teased it through, and what I found was, well, there's definitely a stage where people need to take stock. And in hero's journey language, that's the first stage, which is the ordinary world. And then there's the call to adventure. So the call to adventure is about what direction would you like to go. If you forgot about limitations and reasons why you can't do things, just let the genie out of the bottle. Have a look at it. I could relate to that. I thought, that should be in there. The next stage then is about refusing the call, because we find reasons why it's not the right time. My kids are at an age where I need to give them attention. My mortgage constraints. I've just got to move in my work and I need to work with this role. I've just signed up to do an MBA. Whatever it is, they are reasons why we refuse the call. And if I go back to what I said earlier on about authenticity, in a way, at times we shut ourselves off from our own authenticity. So I thought that's a powerful stage. But of course, the hero's journey isn't just about the singular hero. The hero's journey recognises that the hero needs help. And actually, if the hero commits, the help appears. So the next stage that seemed to me to be appropriate was to consider, what helpers or mentors or guides do you have in your life, or would you like to have in your life? So these might be people you know, or there could be people you know of that you'd like to make a connection with. So at this stage, just identify who are those people and how might they be able to support you. So that's the first 4 stages of the journey. And it's only then that you come to the 5th stage, which is crossing the threshold. So the crossing of the threshold is the moment of commitment. And there's a wonderful saying that captures the essence of that, which is, the moment one commits, providence moves too. And that's a saying from a guy called W.H. Murray, who went on a Himalayan expedition. And he was just reflecting on his experience of going on that expedition. The idea, the moment one commits, providence moves too. In other words, the help does materialize. Synchronicities seem to happen. So again, this is very energizing stuff in my mind. If you do that, now you're off on the journey, and then what I call that is the trail of trials and helpers. So the idea is, when you commit, the help will appear. In other words, providence moves too. And as you go on your journey, at some point there will be various challenges, but at some point there may well be a supreme encounter, because that's one of the things the hero's journey talks about. And what I love about that is, you can take that at a number of different levels. So you can take that literally, and you could say, is this life or death? But figuratively or symbolically, yes, it could be life or death. But it could be that there's an aspect of you that needs to die to enable you to really live into this new adventure. And that to me is quite a rich, powerful way of looking at it. And then if you proceed and you go through that, you come to the 7th stage, which is the reward. So what is the grail that you're seeking to seize? And in the work that I do, I ask people to visualize that, so to create a sensory picture, something that appeals in as far as it can to the 5 senses. So that the more you can do that, the more you impress your self-conscious that this is doable. That's the 7th stage. And all along, there's been the hero and there's been the help. But what the hero also needs to think about, and this is something that I was very influenced by from the writings of Joseph Campbell, is the idea that when the hero has gone on the journey and they've achieved the reward, they then return. And sometimes the return can be difficult because you were off on this adventure and everything was exciting and you were forging ahead. And when you go back, it can seem as if, oh, well, this is all a bit dull now. So it's to get the person thinking, what difference would you like to make? What legacy would you like to leave? How would you like, whether it's your family members, your community, your management team, your company, whatever it would be, how would you like them to benefit from the results of the quest that you have been on? So I get people thinking about that, and I also get them to tune into what do you evoke in other people, because that's powerful.